$60 figures used to be a blessing back in the day. Hey, how's it going everyone? It's your boy Rod from DBZSHFIGS.com, and today I'm bringing to you an unboxing and review of the Dragon Ball S.H.Figuarts Super Saiyan Gotenks, which came out originally in October of 2018 for a retail price of $60 US. But before we begin, just want to let you know that there's currently a giveaway happening at the Discord for the channel. A gracious mod of ours, Owen, has decided that he's going to give away Dragon Ball S.H.Figuarts. Now, the giveaway is open as of right now and will close October the 8th. And there's only a few rules you need to follow. You must be 18 years or older, you must have a US address, and you must be willing to, of course, provide that address. So if you're interested in potentially getting a free Dragon Ball S.H.Figuarts, make sure you click the link in the description and join the Discord. Yeah, so I'm kind of a little surprised that we only have one Gotenks in like a series that's been going on since 2009. But at the same time, I mean, I'm just glad that we have one. If I were to choose one, I would have gone with the Super Saiyan 3 version. I think that one's way more iconic than a regular Super Saiyan, but that's just me. Also, the Super Saiyan 3 could have just been included inside this package. Could have had both versions, and then that's it. You knock it out of the park. But anyways, they decided to prolong the releases, so here we have this one. As always, here we have the box. Make sure you have your Tamashii Nations quality sticker, as well as your Toei animation sticker to make sure you have a legit figure. Just gonna give it a quick little spin here so you could take a look at the box art and everything that looks cool about it. All the different poses that you could put them in. Let's get them out. So here we have the figure in the clamshell. I know a lot of people like to see how all the accessories are arranged within the plastic, so just gonna give it a quick little 360 here. Let's get them out. So here we have the figure straight out of the package. But before we begin, make sure to head over to DBZSHFIGS.com. It's my website. It's a complete archive of every single release in the Dragon Ball S.H.Figuarts line. The website is constantly being updated with all the latest information, so you'll always find the latest pictures, photos, videos, anything like that. So make sure you check that out. Anyways, here we have this amazing looking figure. Of course, like I mentioned, this was released in 2018, so it's been about 7 years since this was released, and it still looks great. Now, the main big concerns that people have with this figure is just how big the head is and just how tall the figure is. Because, I mean, Gotenks is supposed to be a fusion of Goten and Trunks, who are like little kids. And then as you'll see later in the scale part of the review, he's a little bit out of scale in my opinion. But anyways, the figure itself looks great. The one thing you will notice, and you either hate or you're going to love this, is the hair. Because it's very yellowish. It's berry. And then it's very orangey right here where it meets the face. So either you love that or you hate it. For me, honestly, it looks a bit much in my opinion, but I don't completely hate it. I think it could be done better if they ever decide to release a new Gotenks. But other than that, I mean, this is the Gotenks that I remember from the anime. Of course, he has these teal looking colors on the belt, and I don't even know what you call this part, sock, I'm just gonna say. And then the nice white pants. However, you will notice that they're a bit dark because there is actual shading here, which they used to do back in the day quite a bit. Nowadays, it's a lot more rare, but I always appreciate it when I hold one of these figures and I see that they at least attempted to shade. So as you can see, it's like darker inside of the thigh because, you know, there's less light going in there, which looks great in my opinion. And then the body itself, I do have a little complaint here, is that the ab section looks very different to like the upper body section. It's like over here, it's like kind of, you know, a little indented. It's not that prominent. And then up here, it looks very plasticky. I don't know if you could tell that, but that's like a huge contrast. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but it kind of looks a little funny. However, the vest itself, it looks great in my opinion. I think they did a good job with it. Of course, it's always going to be hard to nail it down because of the moving shoulders and stuff. And then the arms look great. You have your wrist tape. And then the face itself, I always love the Gotenks, you know, expressions because he's a very expressive character. He's always doing silly, goofy stuff. So I really like the face. It came out great. But that's basically it in terms of the figure. We're gonna jump into the accessories now. So as always, we start with the faceplate. So he comes out of the box with this one, which is like a, you know, like a cocky, smirky Gotenks, which we all know and love. He also comes with this very confident looking face, like he's ready to bring the smackdown to Super Boo. And then like I mentioned earlier, I love the very expressive looks that Gotenks has, which is something like this. So you could see the little sweat coming down because he just realized that he does not compare to Super Boo. So he's a little scared. I love this face. In terms of hands, like most Dragon Ball S.H.Figuarts, he comes straight out of the box with these closed fists ready to fight someone. He comes with peace sign hands for both his left and right hand, which is very Gotenks centric. And then he comes with, of course, his Gotenks fighting pose hands. So it's like a little crunched up fist, not truly a fist, but just like a little kind of gripping. And then only for his right hand, he comes with this finger pistol hand. So he's like pointing up at the sky, or he could be pointing at you, telling you you're about to get it. And then again, only for his right hand, he does come with this open palm hand. So it could be like blasting something or holding up his effect blast. And then he also comes with, of course, his iconic attack, the Kamikaze Super Ghost. So it's this really nice blue looking ghost of Gotenks that, you know, he goes and explodes himself. Looks really cool. I love the translucent hair on this one. I love the very expressive face. It's just an amazing looking accessory. Only thing, of course, I wish they could do is add a little articulation to it. But other than that, I don't think there's much more that they can improve on this one. And of course, he does come with a stand and the attachment arm so that you could put this peg inside the back of the Kamikaze Ghost. And then and then it does have like 3 different sections where you could put them in. So I choose to put them over here. And here you have your Kamikaze Ghost. And then the last set of accessories is, of course, his Galactic Donut accessory. So the effect itself is just kind of like a circular plastic with like a yellowish tint to it. Looks pretty cool. Looks like a big halo. And then he comes with another arm to hold this and an adapter to be able to hold the actual donut. So you get this piece, you attach this peg into this hole, and then you're gonna set it up however you want. And then this adapter piece here basically holds the donut. You just push it in and that's it. There you go. So now we're gonna move over to the review part of the video. And as always, we start with articulation at the bottom here at the toe. Rotates 360 at the foot goes down, goes up, swivels side to side with a nice ankle rocker. The toe bends up and it does not bend down. The knee, you get quite a bit range of motion here, which is kind of crazy. It's just, you know, impacted by the baggy pants here, but other than that, it's an amazing knee joint. You get a thigh swivel here, so it rotates inward and outward. The leg does extend out quite a bit. It extends forward quite a bit and extends backwards quite a bit. Can't really do much better than that. And then rotation 360 right here at the top of the legs. The belt here rotates 360 as well in that direction. And then you have a nice little ab crunch here. Nothing too amazing, but it does bend. And then he does sway to the left. He sways to the right. And then the shoulder here rotates 360. The butterfly joint allows it to extend fast this much and extend inward this much, which is not a lot, to be honest. Like his thumb here barely reaches like his eyebrow. And then rotate 360 at the bicep. The elbow bends basically at a 90. 360 rotation at the wrist. And he's able to move it inward, outward based on that ball joint there, which is pretty cool. The head does rotate 360. However, the face does come off. But you could, I mean, if for whatever reason you want his face to be on backwards, you can do it. I choose not to because I don't really see a point. You know, he's able to extend as much as he really wants to, although the face will pop out if you do it too much. And then he's able to look down. He's able to not really look up. He just looks straight. And that's basically it for his articulation. You know, there's a lot of great things here. However, there are some, you know, constraints, which is very noticeable. So in my opinion, I'm going to give it a 4. In terms of accuracy, now he does look straight out of the anime, like I mentioned before, like his costume and everything like that. He does have a big head, which, I mean, depends on if that matters to you a lot, because it's an anime and sometimes, you know, characters have big heads or whatever. To me, it does bother me a little, in my opinion. So I'm gonna give it a 4. In terms of price to plastic ratio, again, this was released for $60 with a total of 3 exchangeable faceplates, with a total of 4 exchangeable pairs of hands, basically. And then you get your Kamikaze Ghost, you get your Galactic Donut, you get a stand with 2 lever arms. So for $60, that's quite a good deal in my opinion. I think it's one of the best deals, especially if this were to come out now today. Of course, it would be a lot more expensive, but I mean, I feel like that's not a bad price, so I'm gonna give it a 4. Next up is scale, and here I have Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku, and here I have Gotenks. And Gotenks basically reaches about his chest region, which I think it's a bit too tall. Again, this is a fusion between Goten and Trunks, so at that point, Goten was a kid, he would be like around this kind of height, and then Trunks maybe a little taller. So being as big as his chest, I think that's a bit too much. So I'm gonna give it a 2. As far as shelf presence, I mean, it's really hard to find one much better than this with all the stuff that he comes with that he could use at the same time. I think it's just like a great diorama piece in my opinion. He's a very good looking standalone figure as well. You could have him with his Kamikaze Ghost as well as his Galactic Donut effect all at the same time, which is kind of crazy in my opinion. He looks amazing, and for the one Gotenks that we've had in this entire history of run of Dragon Ball S.H.Figuarts, I think he still does a very good job. Of course, I am looking forward to them one day releasing a new one that's maybe slightly shorter, just like how they're doing with Krillin in 2026. So here's to hoping for that. But anyways, for shelf presence, I mean, I'm gonna give it a 5 just because he comes with so much cool stuff that I really enjoy, and you could have him post up something like this very easily, and he looks pretty darn cool. So overall, Super Saiyan Gotenks gets a cumulative score of 3.8 out of 5, which is a very serviceable figure. You won't be disappointed with it. However, I think there is a lot of points that could be expanded on or made better if this ever gets a new figure treatment. So I'm looking forward to that. But like I said, make sure to check out the giveaway at the Discord for the channel. Go back to the beginning of the video if you want to hear the rules again or how to join, but make sure you check that out. Again, it closes October the 8th. And while you're at DBZSHFIGS.com, make sure you check out the Amazon deals tab where you'll find all the best deals currently on Amazon for Dragon Ball S.H.Figuarts. There might even be something you want to pick up. But other than that, if you disagree with my ratings for either of the 5 categories, head over to DBZSHFIGS.com. There should be a survey in the webpage for Super Saiyan Gotenks where you could input your own ratings, and that way we get a cumulative score from the entire community. But yeah, I mean, if you're still hearing my voice at this point in time, just know that I really appreciate you, and I hope you have a nice rest of your day.